Good evening. I am Cara Oliver, Rappler multimedia producer, and we are here in New Clark City in Capas, Tarlac for the final day of the 24th annual Philippine International Hot Air Balloon Fiesta, and today is the last day of the event. But did you know that there was just so much more to do here apart from just looking at hot air balloons? So earlier this morning, we witnessed a total of 19 hot air balloons going up in the air with all various shapes and sizes, which I believe have deflated behind me right now. But one thing that was fascinating to me was the Count Dracula hot air balloon up in the sky. There was also a giant pink elephant and a monastery that, quite frankly, looked like a castle to me. There were also adorable dog-shaped hot air balloons up in the air. They looked so cute when they were they appeared to be peeking up on the stadium. So we were initially hoping to get one of our cameras up in the air, but turns out the hot air balloon baskets aren't that spacious. And today we found out that there is a temperature limit for those hot air balloons. So let's say you put 6 people in the hot air balloon. That could be too much for a tropical country like the Philippines, because it is pretty hot here, and we're in Tarlac, which is a flatland plateau. Hold on. Other than that, we witnessed skydivers jumping from the sky. They were on parachutes, but from the ground, it kind of appeared uneventful for the audience, as we could only see one parachute going down, and it could have been better if we could have seen all the excitement from that. But if you were the person who was flying from the sky, that might have been exhilarating for you. The Jet Parahawks also showcased their skills up on the air. They told us earlier that they had an issue getting off the air since they had really, really heavy, let's say 50-pound jets, and they had to run really fast so they could get lift off. Some of them got ghastly gashes earlier, but once they got up in the air, it was really pretty. It was really elegant. On the ground, there was a street drift showcase where people rode shotgun on experienced drivers doing drifting. And I rode not one, but 2 of these cars. And it was a fun experience for me. They had a 3-point seat belts on me to make sure that I am safe. And I also wore a helmet. It was fun. It wasn't as terrifying as a lot of people were asking me if I was scared, but it was just like really riding. We were riding on a car. If you were like on the street, honestly. So other than that, we also witnessed the first FIA-sanctioned drone competition. So imagine this. Imagine the Grand Prix. And then also imagine a dog race with multiple obstacles, but with a drone. And these drones aren't your typical cinematic drones. These drones were so tiny. They had analog cameras attached to them so that the pilots would be able to see it in real time. They had goggles that kind of looked like the Apple Vision Pro, but it wasn't. And they ran a speed of over 100 kilometers per hour, which was interesting because we heard a lot of buzzing noises. The competitors came from East Asia, from Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, and China. And I believe there were also Filipinos in the mix earlier. Of course, we're in the Philippines. And then right now, the night glow just ended right behind us. And they are packing up. They're packing up the hot air balloons. So they're packing up the hot air balloons, but to close the show, they have a drone show. I'm not quite sure if they are up on the air right now. I think they're not. They're preparing it, I think. It's coming out in a bit, I believe. But the night glow of the hot air balloons earlier were only on the ground, unlike this morning where they went up, and away. So they had music behind them, and then they were flickering the lights, and then closing them, and then flickering them again. And finally, the drone show, which we are hoping to see right now, will be the conclusion of the event. Oh, they're about to come right now. But earlier today, we also got a chance to see the global stars, pilots, showcase their skills on the airplane, doing dives and loops, which was kind of terrifying. I mean, I can't imagine going on there. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, these pilots had intensive training to counter the G-forces thrown at them. So the audiences had to only watch and get a glimpse because they literally might pass out. It's a very terrifying experience if you're untrained. So this evening, apart from the night glow and the drones, I think there are still going to be performances out here. And the organizers say that if you missed this event this year, they will also be holding the 25th iteration of the Philippine International Hot Air Balloon Fiesta here in New Clark City and Capas Tarlac next year. They are hoping to corner the market of hot air ballooning here in the Philippines every February, since there are other hot air ballooning events all over the world, including in Turkey, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Bristol in England, I believe. So, earlier, let's go back to the street drifting. I rode with Rocket Booty, who is the reigning champion of the D1 Grand Prix, and he did the traditional drifting. And I also rode with Isaac Reyes, who did an Australian burnout, which kind of reminded me of the PS2 game Burnout Dominator, but in real life. Imagine that. Those events were free earlier, and there were a lot of people lining up. Apart from that, there were also camel rides, horse rides, and kite flying events earlier. There were also military installations of, airplanes, helicopters, and tanks. So, yeah. As we are waiting for the drones, which aren't showing up right now yet, I would like to close this video, this live, and so that concludes our coverage of the 24th Annual Philippine International Hot Air Balloon Fiesta here in Capas Tarlac. And as always, I'm Cara Oliver, Rappler, Tarlac.